A great opportunity tomorrow because we've been approved to go up on the Temple Mount. I've been up a number of times. It's a wonderful place to visit. The buildings up there are beautiful, and we've actually been given the opportunity to go in a couple of those buildings, and so this is really kind of a once-in-a-lifetime situation. But when we go up there, we need to be respectful of everything they're doing, and we want to make sure that the things that we do are appropriate. And we've been told the different types of cameras we can bring, and so I think maybe, did you bring some of those with you?
So just like the Jordan River, you have a GoPro with you, keep that on you, you can hold it out and get both of you in the same shot.
We'll be capturing footage of us, but then you all will have the smaller DSLRs.
We'll probably just have something like this. As far as audio, we won't do traditional mics like you guys have been doing.
Right.
These mics can actually plug straight into your phone.
Right.
You'll have one and Jeremy will have one. You'll hit record, put it in your pocket. We'll just kind of walk around.
I think that'll be fine.
We'll get what we can get.
That's right.
There are 3 major monotheistic religions in the world, and they all have a claim to this spot. And so everybody is just, from day to day, you don't know what kind of access you're going to have.
Yeah, it's a very sensitive area, and you have to be very polite and understanding of everything that's involved in going up there. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
All right, Jeremy, we're walking up the steps on the eastern side of the Dome of the Rock. It's a beautiful building. The Mount of Olives would be behind us. I think the Temple Mount is interesting from our standpoint. This is the place where the temple was. Jesus came up here and taught many times.
There were a couple of reasons we wanted to come here. One was the original location of the first century temple being here, but also it's pertinent to the life of Christ.
All during his ministry, anytime he came to Jerusalem, he would spend time in the temple area.
Right.
And teaching at the temple and talking to people about the things that he came to talk about.
Inside the Dome of the Rock, there's a large stone called the Foundation Stone. It's original rock. And Christians and Jews believe that it's at this location where Abraham offered Isaac on Mount Moriah.
They arrive at that conclusion because in 2 Chronicles, the 3rd chapter, it tells us that Solomon built the temple on the top of Mount Moriah. The very same place where Abraham offered Isaac as a sacrifice is the same place where Solomon built his temple. And that's the same place, of course, where Herod rebuilt the temple in the 1st century.
Seeing the foundation stone and thinking about those connections makes me imagine what Jesus was thinking of as he came up here and thought through all of that history, thinking about how God spared Abraham from actually offering his son, but he would follow through with offering his own son. We just came down from the main platform. We're just about, 80 yards away from the Dome of the Rock. It's right in front of us. Now, the reason we're up here is because during the final week of Jesus' life, he would crest that hill behind us and come here to the Temple Mount and do a lot of teaching.
He taught a lot of people that last week up here.
He came up here to cleanse the temple. We have a recording of that. It was a huge honor to be able to come up here.
It was. Why don't we just keep walking down the sidewalk here?
That sounds good.
Yep. We're standing outside of the Lion's Gate. Sometimes it's called St. Stephen's Gate because this is the traditional place where they brought Stephen out to stone him that we read in the book of Acts. But we just came off the
Temple Mount.
Temple Mount, yeah.
Right now, the adrenaline level is lowering.
Going down a little bit.
Foreigners, especially Christian foreigners, don't get to do that very often. So it was a treat. John the Baptist identified Jesus as our Passover lamb who takes away the sins of the world. So for Jesus coming to the Temple Mount as our Passover lamb and witnessing and participating in everything that foreshadowed what he was here to do that final week would have been huge. And it was hard for him because all of the people around him didn't understand that those symbols and all of those things that foreshadowed him, they didn't understand the connection until afterwards.
Right.
And so it must have been a huge emotional toll on him to understand what he was about to do, and at the same time, people didn't understand what he was about to do.